Today we're going to talk about who you can trust, how you know you can trust for financial guidance. You know, for so many people, it's this almost necessary evil. I've got to be making decisions. I've got to be thinking about what's going on, and all this emotion starts getting stirred up. Fears, fantasies about maybe some awesome returns that you could get, frustrations about maybe how things have turned out, and then you're meeting someone and maybe they're helping you with a particular product or a particular solution strategy, and maybe you don't have a long-term commitment to that individual or to that organization, but yet you've got products that you've got a long-term commitment to them, and all of the feelings that you have, very simply, as you hear me say so many times, you know what? It doesn't have to be that way. What we find as we go through, if you're asking the right questions, if you're focusing on the right things, you're going to have a much better experience. Thank you for joining. As always, the things that we're talking about is ammunition for you to be able to ask great questions, to add to your palette of methods, to be able to have a fantastic experience, to enjoy the freedom of retirement and everything else that it goes with it. Our hope is that it is even better than what you expected, that you look back and say, I wish I would have done this earlier. Man, I feel so good about what's happening with me and with my situation. Before you commit to any financial professional, make sure you know very explicitly, before you even talk to them, what's in it for you? What are you seeking? What are you hoping to accomplish? Why are you even talking to them? It's not just to get an opinion. It's not just to get an idea. What specifically is on your mind, your frustration, the challenges that you have, what's happening with you that you're trying to have more information, more knowledge about? Because what often happens when you go and meet with someone is all these things get brought to your attention, and it can feel so overwhelming. If you have a plan coming in of things that you want to focus on, and then when those other things come up, because they will, there's always more to the story. When those other things come up, it's just going to be kind of adding those things, and you can start then to decide what you should be thinking about now, what you might need to be thinking about in the future, and what is, that's, I can see where that's a concern, but it's not my concern right now. I want to focus on just this one thing. The next thing is, what's in it for them? How do they stand to benefit? If they're there and saying, hey, we're going to do this as a free benefit for you, like we do with FundMax, right? That's what we say all the time. We do this for you as a free, as a complimentary benefit. And you may say, we got to make money somehow. And believe me, well, not believe me, but the fact is, whether you believe me or whether you don't, we're thriving. And the reason that we're able to do this for free is because we are thriving. We're doing so well financially with those that we are serving that we are able to, through our processes and through our efficiencies, able to deliver this content, these questions, all of these things to you at no charge, so that you're able to benefit from it as well. And some of you will call us and say, can you take a look at our stuff, which you have? And some of us will call and they'll instant message us and ask questions, which you have. And some of them will just read and read and read and read and never even talk to us. They'll share it with other people, whatever the case might be. But the question is, what's in it for them? What do they stand to gain? Why are they doing this? What are they hoping to accomplish with you? And next, probably one of the most important things that people don't talk about as much, and me being the engineer that I am, I'm always thinking, okay, well, this is good for now, but how do we manage it when this changes, and when this changes, and when this changes, and how do we manage it when things change that we didn't even plan on changing? So this is what you want to write down. How does our solution strategy, how is it able to be adapted as needed? What are kind of the moving parts and things that we're able to control, that we're able to say, you know what, if this isn't going well, I can get rid of that, I can get rid of that, I can redecide on a few different things. All right, I'm going to go through, and one thing really to point out is this: in this digital age that we live in, the traditional relationships that we had, where I had to physically meet with an advisor, and I was limited by geography of who I was able to meet with. It had to be someone that I'm able to trust. It had to be someone that that I'm able to sit with face-to-face and understand. Today, with the digital age, just like you're doing right now, watching my own face, you're able to sit with people electronically through FaceTime, just like you do with maybe your children or grandchildren, through Skype, through these different methods where you're able to connect with them and actually see what's happening, see their own reactions on their face, to be able to size them up, to be able to observe all the nonverbal communication that's happening, to be able to communicate better. In this digital age, so much of what's happening with the advent of identity protection, and blockchain is an example where you're able to protect people's identity. There are ways that are even more secure to be able to communicate and manage your information. And I know this sounds hard to believe because it's being traditional as we are. It sounds hard to believe, but today there's more secure ways than actually signing your name on a piece of paper. It's more secure in many cases with some of these online programs, of course, that we utilize for communication with other people. Questions that you should be asking, and I'm going to go through as many as I can here, but I'm going to make this available to you as well if you ask for it, this complete list. A fiduciary, and you want to ask your advisor, give me, and now I try to ask the question behind the question so we can really get to the heart of the matter. And here's what you want to ask. Give me a few examples of why being a fiduciary matters and how this fits with your practice. When you ask a financial professional, tell me more about the fiduciary. What exactly does that mean, and when has it been a benefit for some of your clients, and when does it kind of make you like everyone else? I want to know specifically. And when you're asking this question, this is your opportunity. I just talked about sizing people up. This is your opportunity to kind of watch how they handle it, watch their behavior, and kind of think, all right, well, I feel comfortable with that answer. Thank you for that. The next question is, what is your specific area of expertise? Because in the vast, vast world of financial advice, so often, so many advisors, and I train financial professionals on how to better interact with their clients. What I find is certain financial professionals, depending on what their area of expertise is going to be more dependent upon how they were brought into the business and some of the very first tools that they ever utilized with a client. Those tools have a tendency, whether they started when they were 18 in the business or 28 or 38 or 48, those tools where they were indoctrinated into the financial services business have a tendency to be the go-to, have a tendency to be the preferred tools that they utilize for their entire career. So when you ask someone, what's the very best way to get income? And then you ask another financial professional, what's the very best way to get income from your retirement accounts? Then you ask another financial professional, you might get three completely different answers. And the reason is, it's because of their area of expertise. Everyone has an opinion about what is the very best way to do the things that you may need from them, and you want to ask them that question. It gives you an idea of what their bias is, what their kind of their upbringing is professionally. The next question is, what is your method for discovering and understanding how my situation is similar to others, and even more importantly, how my situation is unique from others? People will say, well, retirees' biggest concerns are running out of money, and I don't find that to be my experience with retirees. People will say, retirees' biggest concerns are how much they get from their Social Security, and that's not something that I come across that often. The reason I'm telling you this story is, the reason I'm talking to you about this is because the real question is, what's unique about your situation? I compare the medical profession. Doctors go to school for more than a decade. They're trained in all these different scenarios, and I would sum it up, not being a doctor, of how I observe it, they're trained to be able to look at how each situation might look like the common cold, but really it's oh my gosh, there's something going on internally here. We need to do some blood work. We need to do some tests. They're able to see what's unique about each individual situation so that they can kind of dig a little bit deeper in that area and in that area. And the reason I'm telling you that is because it's our process. It's what we utilize when we're interviewing people that are referred to us to be able to really kind of understand, all right, you have some similarities. You're getting to the point where you're going to be retiring or you're retired. A lot of people do that, but not everyone has your own financial upbringing. Not everyone has your same unique situation. How could they? Every individual person is different. The question for your financial professional is, what is your method for discovering not what's similar to everyone else, because that's kind of common, but what's unique about my own situation relative to anyone else? And it happens every day. People are unique. Investment philosophy. All professionals have a tendency towards certain investments. I talked about that, but another way to ask that same question, and I'm a big believer in asking similar questions in different ways, really to get to the heart of the matter, is, in general, what do you find has worked well for your clients over the years, and why is it? And then just be quiet. Listen to them tell you. Because they'll tell you, well, I really like this. Well, this seems to be doing really well. And then you can even go a step further and you can ask them, can you show me, I love this. Can you show me a client's portfolio that you put together maybe 10 years ago and how it's performed? Talking about what it's the fantastic solution that you have. Show me a client's portfolio and how it's performed and how it's done all of those fantastic things. And the reason I laugh a little bit is because people always want to show you back-tested data. Like, oh my gosh, look at this. If you had this for the last 10 years, you'd be part of the Billionaire Boys Club. Oh my gosh, I wish we would have had this. Wish you would have got this. You should buy it right now so you can go on that trajectory. And the real question is, well, how much of your clients' money did you have in that 10 years ago so that they were able to get that 60% return on average, or whatever the average rate of return was? It's kind of a reckoning when you ask that question. All right, I'm going to do one more, and I think this is very good to get to the heart of why your financial professional or prospective financial professional is even in the business, is what about the financial services business caused you to enter as a profession, and how does it fit your personality? Isn't that awesome? What is it that drew you into the business? And if they say, well, it's awesome, there's lots and lots of money, well, that's probably the last question you need to ask, right? Because, of course, there is lots and lots and lots of money in the business. And I'll tell you a little story of my own personal experience. I quit my real job back in 2005 at Chrysler as a mechanical engineer. And what I love about this business, and I just experienced it earlier today, is sitting with a client, sitting with them, looking them right in the eye, whether it's be a video conference. I had one video conference earlier today, and I had one face-to-face meeting today. And being able to sit them, look them right in the eye, and listen to them. And when they come into the office or when we start the video chat, they're concerned about one thing, and we get to the heart of the matter, and we realize that it was more of a surface thing of what they said they were concerned about, and there was something else going on, some fear that they had, some frustration that they had, and we are able together to be able to work through what's on their mind, what's most important to them, so that we can get to the heart of the matter, and it's all to be able to align their financial resources with what's most important to them. And if you listen to things just at face value, sometimes it can be a distraction. As I said when I started the video, it can be emotionally stimulating. It can be emotionally frustrating. And you being able to ask good questions, being able to listen well to who it is that you're talking to, is the key to being able to have a great relationship, being able to have great effectiveness, being able to have great results so that you're able to enjoy what you spent a lifetime saving to be able to enjoy your retirement. Boy, the time goes fast. I want to thank you all for watching, for sharing, for joining. My name is George Wells. Until we meet again.